Hello, 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 my amigos. Welcome one, welcome all. It's time for another exciting edition of the show with no name on Vaughn Radio. So get ready for liftoff.
T-minus 10,
Nine,
9, 8,
eight,
7,
seven,
6,
six, 5,
4,
4, 3, 2.
1,
Come on.
0.
Here we go.
Ignition. Liftoff.
Lift it off, baby.
Liftoff. 30 minutes left.
Come on. Come on, baby, baby, come on. Get pumped.
Get ready. Hold on to your hats. Strap on your seatbelt. Fasten your seatbelts. Hold on to your
And
hats.
get ready for the ride of your life.
The show with It's show with no name time.
On Vaughn Radio. Come on. Get up.
Let's go.
You know it, folks. It is time for your daily English extravaganza here on Vaughn Radio. This is the show with no name. Welcome, everyone. I know you were in good hands with my friend Fitz in his program, No Excuses. If you haven't checked it out, check it out. It's right before this program every day. And right before Fitz, another friend of mine, Rob Grams, in the Pro Bow Show. Hell yeah! Claro que sí. What an awesome way to learn English with a little bit of oomph. Un poco de energía. Bueno, un poco. A lot of oomph. As you know, we all give it 110% because we want you to get excited. We want you to get pumped. We want you to get stoked. I mean, we firmly believe that learning a language should not be a chore, un deber. It should be fun. It should be like a hobby. I really can't take it. People are like, vas a aprender inglés en 2 meses. Okay, so that's what you're looking for. I'm going to learn 1,000 words in 2 months, and then I never have to study again or never have to, read anything in English. That sounds kind of fake and pretty shallow. Poco profundo. Like, okay, pues yo sé 1000 palabras. Hey. Okay, cool. And you're just going to stay right there, or you don't want to continue to grow and to evolve, evolucionar, to evolve. And again, I'm not even talking about in a foreign language. I mean, I'd like to think that I have evolved in my own language as a speaker, as a communicator, and I continue to try and evolve. You know how many times I listen to a podcast and I'm like, oh, that's interesting. I haven't heard that before because, well, English, like Spanish, is spoken by a lot of different people and people all around the world. And some of the idiomatic expressions or words, vocabulary words that they use in Australia are not used in the United States or in England. So it's a vast expanse. And if you look at it like, well, I'll master it in 3 months, is that called mastering something? Or is that called just getting the gist of it? And again, hey, maybe that's your goal. Maybe your goal is I need to learn it or else I'm going to get fired from my job. I get it. You want to take a crash course, un curso rápido y aprender. But if you don't keep practicing, you lose it. So that's the problem with a lot of these phony prophets that you'll find on the internet. I always say prophets looking for a profit. They're like, oh, no, 3 months and you're fluent. I'm like, really? I mean, I've been speaking Spanish for 47 years. I mean, like, I've been like immersed in it for 47 years. I still speak Spanish to my father. And I still make mistakes, and I'm still learning things in Spanish. And like I just said, in my own language. And that's not a bad thing. That's beautiful. That's magical that we can continue to learn and evolve. So be wary, receloso, of those people who promise you everything in a month, 2 months, 6 months. Yeah, you can learn stuff. Sure you can. Sure. But that's not how this works. It's something that you choose to do. It's like any other hobby. You play paddle for 6 months and you're like, now I'm a pro. Really? Is that how it works? Because if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is too good to be true. So we firmly believe here at Vaughn that it should be approached, enfocado, as a hobby, as something you enjoy doing, not like, oh, I'm going to do this in 6 months because I hate it. Really? Okay, well, that's the wrong approach to anything in life. So don't look for shortcuts. Look for ways to incorporate English into your everyday activities. And that is easy peasy. I mean, you like sports? Listen to podcasts about sports in English. You work in marketing? You know how many marketing gurus there are out there with podcasts or YouTube videos about marketing? I mean, it's never been easier to surround yourself with English, and more importantly, the English you want to know about. Because maybe one of you is like, I love marketing, and the other one's like, not me. I love movies. And you know who I'm talking about there. Shout out to Chris Valrol. You can learn about whatever you want. Just do it in English, and you'll see in no time, you'll start to understand the jargon. Jargon is jerga, pero jerga técnica. Slang is jerga de calle, right? Very same word, but different idea. One is the language of the street, of the young people, let's say, and another one is the language of a particular profession or job. All right, my amigos, we have got a lot of stuff to do in today's show. So let's kick things off with the Say What soundbite. Come on. Say what? All right, folks, it's your Say What soundbite here on the show with no name. And this is where we listen to all different accents in all different situations. And this is a voice that I think most Americans, I would say 90% of Americans would recognize this voice. She was a part of our childhood, and she's still doing what she does. So I gave you a little clue. It's a woman. I think she raised the bar. Subir el listón. To raise the bar. I just gave you a huge clue. Eso era una pista. To raise the bar. All right. Also, let me remind you, we've got our question of the week. And this week, this one comes from your classmate, Chris Valrol. Thank you so much for your contributions. All of you who send me emails and you contribute to the show, thank you. It's great. What better way to reinforce something than by teaching it to your fellow students? So if you have ideas for double troubles or anything, let me know. You can shoot me an email, aalonso@grupovaughn.com. And today, we're going to, well, not today, this week, I should say, because we do it on Fridays. This week, we want to know what household chore you like the least. That's right. Household chores. Quehaceres domésticos, you say. And it could be making the bed or fixing the bed. We don't say to do the bed, we say to make the bed. Or maybe it's washing the dishes. Maybe it's doing laundry. Maybe it's just cleaning up in general, like deep cleaning. You know, wiping the counters down in the bathrooms, sweeping, mopping, vacuuming, taking out the trash, preparing and cooking meals. That's a chore. Something you have to do. The only thing that shouldn't be a chore is English. Again, as we said before. Cleaning bathrooms. What other ones do we have? Cleaning out the refrigerator. Yeah, from time to time, you got to do those deep cleans as well, where you got to get in there and clean up. You've also got watering the plants. Hey, that's a household chore. If you've got plants, you've got to water them as well. And then you've got those ones that are kind of like seasonal. And those are like deep cleaning the oven. Cuidado con la pronunciación, no es oven, sino oven. Dilo conmigo, por favor. Oven. Yeah, well, you don't have to do that every week unless you really use your oven a lot. Cleaning out your closets as well. That's something usually we call this kind of cleaning spring cleaning, no? De la primavera. Out with the old, in with the new. This is a time where you do inventory, not just in your house, but in your life, and say, okay, the spring is symbolically a new beginning. So let's clean out our closets. Let's clean out the garage, wash the windows, you know, all that stuff that you don't do on a daily or weekly basis. So, Chris, I love the suggestion. It's a great one, and we'll learn about a lot of different household chores. You can also just say chores. That's fine. Pero si queremos rematar, we say household chores. So what is your least favorite household chore? Remember, you can send that to me in a message around 1 minute. Keep it around a minute or so. And you can send it to my email address, which is aalonso@grupovon.com. Again, it's aalonso@grupovon.com. Also, if you have suggestions for name that movie, name that lyric, Double Trouble, let me know. And if I can find a way to incorporate it into the show, I will. So thanks a lot, Chris, and you'd better participate. All of you, especially Chris, if you sent it to me. So what is your least favorite household chore? And as always, why? Why do you dislike it? Why do you loathe it? To loathe is another way to say to hate. Why do you hate doing this specific chore? All right, amigos, let me also give you now today's Say What soundbite. I've already given you a little clue in the expression to raise the bar. Here it is for the first time. Listen carefully, see what you can extract from it, and then we will discuss it together. Here we go.
Well, I guess he got a 6-day suspension, just like when Whoopi Goldberg came out with her disgusting comments on the Holocaust. She got a 2-week suspension. It just shows how they think. I got my whole life ruined.
Alberto, estoy leyendo un cómic y me estoy dando cuenta de que todas las onomatopeyas que salen son verbos en inglés.
Of course, man. We love making it easy.
Por ejemplo, aquí pone chomp y está un animal masticando.
Sure, to chomp.
Es mascar, ¿no?
Sí, mascar. Y lo haces con tus piños. Your chompers.
Ah, chompers es los piños grandotes, ¿no? Vale, y to click, por ejemplo.
To click. Well, to click is what you do on a computer. You click. Pinchar.
Perfecto, pinchas con el ratón. Claro, tiene sentido. To gulp.
Well, before I was gulping my soda. Gulp, 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 gulp.
Claro, estás tragando como un pato.
Eso es, no es lo mismo que sip.
Bien. To thump.
Thump. Don't thump your fist on the table. No des un pum, pum, en la mesa.
De hecho, el conejito de Bambi se llamaba Thumper.
Eso es, todo tiene sentido en inglés.
Claro que sí, por eso hemos hecho el tercer libro de This Book is the Milk, que se llama This Book is the Shit. Este libro es la leche. Por Alberto Alonso
Y Damián Moya.
Así da gusto aprender. Y lo sabes.
And you know it. That's right, folks. You can pick up This Book is the Shit at Von Tienda if you live in Madrid, Barcelona, Bilbao, Vigo, Valladolid, Valencia, Santander, or Zaragoza. Feel free to stop by. This way you can pick up the book and you can even have a chat with us. You can get a free level test, which I highly recommend. No strings attached. Nobody's going to tell you you got to buy something. In fact, you can't force somebody to buy something, can you? Not because it's illegal, but also you know, if I'm not going to spend money, nobody's going to make me spend money. I get it, okay? But you can get a free level test. No one's going to ask you to do anything. They're just going to say, okay, well, let's see. And then they'll tell you, listen, based on your level, this would be a good material. These are some good courses that you can look at. And then the choice is yours. But at least you'll know where you stand. So check it out. It's Vaughan. Grupo Vaughan is the website. If you're on social media, you can follow us there. If not, you can also sign up for our newsletter. And this way you won't miss out on anything. Upcoming events such as our trivia night now. It's officially almost here. So hopefully we'll be seeing a lot of you at the trivia night. It's going to be tons of fun. All right, time to move on, though. It's time for today's pop quiz. Pop quiz. Come on, pop quiz. Get up. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Pop quiz, 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 quiz. Yeah. Let's go. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. All right, amigos. It is our pop quiz, and this is where we take a look at one of the many amazing materials available at Von Tienda. Today, we're taking a look at one of my books, my third book. My first one was English Everywhere. My second one was this book. Oh, no, my second book. No, my third. No, I got. Anyway, one of my books, I've got 5 of them. So that's what happens when you've written 5 books, you forget the order. I know all the books I've written because believe me, it takes more than a year out of your life every time. And I don't just mean the year that you're writing the book, but also I think it takes a year off the end of your life. I'll be dying sooner. But this is from This Book is the Milk 2. It's the follow-up to This Book is the Milk. The latest one is This Book is the Shit. It's a trilogy. If you don't have all of them, it would be like, well, I don't want to compare it to The Godfather because Godfather Part 3, oh man. What happened, Coppola? 1 and 2 were masterpieces. Godfather 3. But I've heard from you guys that This Book is the Shit. It measures up. Da la talla. So let's listen to this. And as always, I'll have a couple questions for you afterwards. Hey, Damián, I like your gear, man.
¿Cómo que te gusta mi marcha de conducir, de la palanca de cambios? ¿De qué me estás hablando?
No, not your gears. Your gear, your clothes, your style.
Oh, yeah, the way
You dress.
I dress. Yes,
Yeah.
sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, in
Thank
English,
you.
it's a very native way of saying, oh man, your gear, tu ropa, tu
Ah.
forma de vestir,
Por eso el videojuego Metal Gear.
Metal Gear. And also,
Yeah.
también es tu equipo. If you go snowboarding, don't forget all your gear.
O sea, ¿el equipo o el ropaje que lleves?
So it makes sense. Me encanta.
Yeah.
I love when things make sense. Now, do you consider yourself a guy who follows fashion?
Yeah, not too much.
No?
Not too much. No, I always dress the same way.
I hate when people say, eso es muy fashion.
Eso es
Oh,
muy
that's
fashion.
very fashion.
Yeah.
Ahora,
Ooh.
Eso en inglés no vale. Si lo dices en español, no te voy a corregir. Eso es muy fashion. Pero that's very fashion. ¿Qué falla ahí?
Yeah, it should be in English. You should say that's very fashionable or in fashion.
In fashion or in style, como la
In
revista.
style. Ah, nice.
¿Y
In
cómo es
style.
algo que se ha pasado de moda? De moda, excuse me.
Out of fashion?
Out of style or out of fashion?
Out of style or
Pero
out
acuérdate,
of fashion?
siempre vamos con el que tiene menos sílabas.
Yeah.
Fashion, 2. Uf, ya
Mm.
me cuesta mucho.
Y lo contrario de in es out.
Y de hecho, hay veces en el contexto, pues, oh man, that is so out. That's so in. Está de moda. So, again, in context, no hay que decir ni style.
And you also say this thing that's so 2019.
Oh, yeah,
You
yeah.
say that thing.
Oh man, that's so 1990s.
Yeah, it's so
You know, eso es-
1990s.
se quedó en los 90, ¿no?
Se
Te
está en 2018 lo que estás diciendo.
I always tell people, you know, I don't follow fashion. Fashion follows me.
Yes,
No,
sir.
I'm joking. I have zero fashion sense. In fact, my wife, a lot of times, she says, okay, back to the drawing board, que la expresión que significa, volvemos a cero. Or like you're wearing a shirt that has a hole in it, and I should look in the mirror more often.
But I wouldn't say so. I think you dress very not in fashion, but in your own fashion.
Well,
That
you know,
maybe you got stuck in the 90s. That's probably just like me. But you have your way of dressing.
well, man, I always used to buy my kicks at Foot Locker.
Foot Locker, nice word.
And kicks, una
Yeah.
forma de decir zapatillas.
Oh
de
yeah,
deporte.
let's talk about zapatillas because you have sneakers, right?
Sneakers, because you can sneak around.
Yeah, sneak.
You can hacerlo a escondidas.
Yeah, they don't sound
Right.
when.
And the British ones are called trainers because you train in them.
Yeah, nice.
And then we call them kicks also as a slang way.
because you can kick with them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
My new
makes
kicks.
sense.
My new kicks. I got
But-
them at Foot Locker. Yeah.
Yeah, but you don't actually have foot lockers at home, right? Where you put where you lock your sneakers in.
Well, no, I think this came more from locker rooms,
Yeah.
vestuarios.
Vestuarios,
You know,
ya que tienen
where-
taquillas, lockers. Okay.
But then they would have a Foot Locker. So you wouldn't have to put your shoes, your stinky, smelly shoes, with your jersey, que es un false friend. A
Okay.
jersey no es un jersey, Damian. What is a jersey?
A jersey que es
Uniforme.
uniforme.
Like, so my Real Madrid jersey, no es un engaña
yeah.
esa
Exacto, es la
palabra.
camiseta deportiva, eso es. yeah.
uniforme de deporte, sí.
Ya, ya,
debería
ya.
explicarlo más. Yeah,
Ya.
so, my
Qué bueno.
jersey. Y la
Ya.
expresión, he hung up his jersey, ¿qué significaría con ese contexto?
He hung up.
His
Colgó la
jersey.
camiseta.
Yeah, se
Ya.
retiró.
Claro.
Al final, when they honor an NBA player, they hang up their
Because
jersey.
in the end, when you say uniforme, you're not referring to the trousers, for example, right?
Yeah, or a police uniform. Obviously, there are other
Yeah.
uses, but a sporting uniform, that would be. Now, in England, they call it a kit, like a football kit,
Kit, el kit deportivo, yeah.
right? But
Yeah.
we would say it's your jersey, your shorts,
Yeah. Okay.
Gear works, your football gear,
Your
para
football
volver
gear. Yeah.
al gear.
By the way, talking about gears, Top Gear. Do you remember that show?
I love Top Gear, sure.
Yeah. Why is it called that way? Because marchas de coche is gears. So you have to change gears.
Absolutely. Something I was thinking about too is a little onomatopoeia. We got a lot of onomatopoeia when it comes to things that we've got in our closet, in el armario. What about those flip-flops?
Yeah. It's the way it sounds, right?
Flip-flop.
It's a brilliant word. I love it.
Absolutely. Flip-flops.
Much better than
chanclas.
chancleta. Chancla is funny,
Mhm.
but flip-flop is perfect.
And I like slippers too. Slippers son las de casa.
Mm-hmm.
And I think there are two reasons for it. Because, well, you could slip. Como son un poco más resbaladizas, you could
yeah.
slip.
Mm-hmm.
Right. But also, when you get home from work, you want to slip them on. Es otra
Ujú.
forma de decir ponértelas.
Como que las deslizas.
Yeah,
Deslizas el pie hacia adentro, ¿no?
Lo usamos cuando decimos ponernos algo cómodo. I'm
Mm.
going to slip on some sweats.
Yeah.
All right. It's another way of saying to put on
ponerse algo.
Yeah, well, I'm falling asleep after this chat.
Well, dude, suit up. We are going to the runway. Y no digo al aeropuerto, I'm saying la pasarela.
All right, amigos, we've got to take a quick commercial break. We'll be right back with part 2 of today's show with no name. So, stick around. Welcome back, folks. Welcome back to part 2 of today's show with no name here on Vaughn Radio. You know it. All right, well, let me give you today's pop quiz questions here. I see we've got a lot of people participating. A shout out to all of you, and we'll check in with you in just a moment. Number 1, cambiar de marcha, pero también significa cambiar de tema. All right? Here's your first one. Cambiar de tema, cambiar de marcha. Number 2, de moda. How would you say something está de moda? We said fashionable, but I'm sure you guys can come up with many other ways, creative ways to say que algo está de moda. And the last one, an idiomatic expression. That means you didn't do it right. You gotta go and try again. But from the start, you say, volver al punto de partida, empezar de cero. All right? So those are your 3 challenges in today's pop quiz. Again, the first one, cambiar de marcha barra cambiar de tema. De hecho, diría que se usa mucho más como cambiar de tema, a no ser que, bueno, conduces mucho con marchas. Marcha, marcha, queremos marcha. The next one, give me a creative way to say fashionable. Yeah, that one's not too fashionable. It's kind of a run-of-the-mill. We've looked at that before. Run-of-the-mill, ordinary, nothing special about the word fashionable. And if you got to go back, you screwed up. The outcome wasn't the one you were looking for. No es el desenlace que buscabas. Tienes que volver atrás, de cero. Those are your 3 pop quiz challenges. Remember to use full sentences, and this way I can see that you're using them correctly. All right, folks. So much to do here on the show. So why don't we kick things off with the Say What soundbite for the second time, and we'll take a look at your observations in just a moment. Is everybody paying attention? Here we go.
Well, I guess he got a 6-day suspension. Just like when Whoopi Goldberg came out with her disgusting comments on the Holocaust, she got a 2-week suspension. It just shows how they think. I got my whole life ruined.
Hey, Damian, what's crack-a-lackin', buddy?
Hey, Alberto, I was planning to do some sports this week. What about playing baseball?
Ooh, baseball. I love it. But I'm not sure yet. Can we touch base next week?
Touch base. Estamos en contacto, ¿no? Hablamos en algún momento. Yeah, okay. Let's touch base. Okay, what about basketball? Do you want to play basketball?
Oh man, I love basketball. It's one of my favorite sports, but I don't know if I can this weekend because I've already got plans. Oh man, that's the way the ball bounces.
That's the way the ball bounces. Así están las cosas, ¿no? Así bota la pelota. Así bota la pelota. That's the way the ball bounces. I love that expression. Okay, what about tennis? Do you want to play tennis?
Well, I love tennis, but I'm not really a good player. If you don't mind playing with a novice, the ball's in your court, buddy.
La bola está en mi campo, ¿eh? La pelota está en mi tejado. All right. Do you want to play some soccer?
Sure, I'd love to play some soccer or football, as you call it. What time do we kick off?
Perfect. We're kicking off at 9. Are you available?
Sure, but I might have to play some golf before with some friends. It's par for the course.
It's par for the course. Es lo normal, ¿no? Es lo normalito, lo que se hace.
Mhm.
Okay, what about billiards? Do you like playing billiards?
Yeah, but right now I'm behind the 8 ball.
I'm behind the 8 ball. Estás detrás de la bola 8, como que llevas las de perder.
Yeah, wow, a lot of idiomatic expressions here.
Muy buenas expresiones. Si es que así de gusto aprender inglés con un profe como Alberto y un poquito de creatividad, tienes This Book is the Shit. El mejor libro para aprender inglés que te has echado a la cara in your life. Píllatelo, vas a disfrutar mogollón de dibujos para que lo aprendas todo fácil, con conexiones lógicas y divertidas. Es la manera más sencilla y más divertida de aprender inglés. No te la pierdas.
Damián, you're such a good sport. Te enrollas. You can pick up your copy of This Book is the Shit at
Vaughantienda.com.
It's the Shit.
That's right, folks. This book is the shit, available at vaughantienda.com. As you know, we've got a plethora of other materials as well. I mean, today we're looking at my books, but as you know, we look at all kinds of different books and books or resources. I think resources, materials sounds much better. And folks, whatever you need to work on. Maybe you're like, you know what? I can't wrap my head around phrasal verbs. To wrap your head around something es captarlo, llegar a entenderlo bien. Well, don't worry. We've got you covered. Or maybe you just need to brush up on your grammar. No, repasar la gramática. We've got you covered there as well. So whatever your needs may be, or maybe you said, this is finally the moment. I'm ready. I need my own teacher. Or maybe not. Maybe you don't like that pressure and you're thinking, well, you know what? Maybe I want to learn in a group environment. Whatever you want, as I said, we've got it waiting for you, and you can get a free consultation. All you've got to do is shout at us. It's another way of saying, dinos algo, danos un toque. You can stop by in Madrid, Barcelona, Bilbao, Vigo, Valladolid, Valencia, Santander, or Zaragoza. Or you can contact us online via our website, grupovon.com. And well, another way to contact us is by sending us a direct message on social media, and somebody from our team will get back to you. All right, I see we've got a lot of people participating in our Say What soundbite. And yes, it's somebody complaining about getting their life ruined, right? And that there's a double standard, right? We call it a double standard. Some people can do whatever they want, and others, well, they're a lot stricter with them. A lot of times you get this with parents. Oh, well, why did he get to do that and I didn't? That's a double standard. Or why did he get a harsh punishment? Or why did I get a harsh punishment, mejor dicho, and she didn't? That's called a double standard. And how do you say it? And you say the same. Vamos a ver. Doble standard. Double standard. And I see some of you are recognizing the voice. You caught me there. Well, I tried to give you a clue. I said to raise the bar. Roseanne Barr. Now, her name is spelt with 2 R's, right? But yeah, doble moral. Ah, no, es doble estándar. Pues yo lo hubiese traducido como doble estándar, pero es doble moral, doble rasero. O sea, mides la gente diferente. She can say what she wants, but if I say it, all hell breaks loose. And the expression all hell breaks loose is se lía una gorda, right? All right, great observations. Let's move on over to today's pop quiz. Now, a couple things I wanted to go over. Kicks, right? We said kicks was a very totally native way of saying sneakers, but it reminds me of the expression too, right? We do it just for kicks, para echarnos unas risas. I really get a kick out of your English lessons, Alberto. Me flipan, disfruto. So don't rule out that word kick. Don't just think of that word or any word as one-dimensional because, man, we've got a lot of uses behind it. Y cuidado que no se pronuncia kick. It's kick, right? I'm learning English just for kicks. No, porque para echar unas risas. No, para entretenerme, right? And while you're at it, I hope you get a kick out of it. I know you're familiar with these. We've looked at them before. Also, lockers. Siempre se me olvida la palabra en español. Taquilla, right? Because I think taquilla is a box office. Pero también it's a locker. Pero si lo piensas, el concepto es igual. Es una cajita pequeña, right? Right? One that you put your sneakers and your gym bag in. And another one where you buy tickets if you're going to the movies. Okay, so locker, and we call it a locker room or a changing room. You can call it the changing room or the locker room. And a lot of times you hear the expression locker room talk. Esto es jerga fea, right? Talking disrespectfully about women, like, oh, look at her cans, look at those Hooters. That's locker room talk. Okay, es como se hablaría, esperemos que no, pero you get what I'm saying, right? Oh, look at those. The word Hooters, by the way, Hooters, well, it can be a word for an owl, but it also means lolas, I believe you say in Spanish. Yeah, titties. Yeah, Hooters. So that's all locker room talk. Even though, as I said, I think it's even inappropriate in the locker room. There's no reason to talk badly or disrespectfully about anyone. Como se nota que tengo hija, eh? I'm like, no way. I'll kill him. We also looked at the word jersey, which is a confusing one because you say jersey, but a jersey is a sweater, right? Not to be confused with a sweatshirt. So a sweatshirt is made of cotton, algodón, whereas a sweater is usually knit, right? Like grandma used to make. And then, as I said, the expression to hang up your jersey. It means I'm going to hang up my jersey. I'm going to retire. We looked at the word flip-flop, slippers. Do you say pantuflas or something like this? I always used to mix that up with cantinflas. Isn't cantinflas like a comedian? Cantinflas. I used to mix those words up, and I'm like, wait a second, slipper. Is there anything like your favorite pair of slippers? Don't you just want to slip them on? And to slip on, vamos a ver, to slip it on. Ponerse, right? And what if I say she's going to slip on a slip? Toma double trouble. A slip is, the word you say is combinación, what my abuela used to wear, right? She slipped on a slip, and then she slipped. Se resbaló. Because the floor was slippery. No sleep. Yo creo que Damián, did you hear in the audio? Damián goes, I think I'm going to fall asleep. And I'm like, sleep? It doesn't sound like slip. So no lo tenía que haberlo elegido como los homophones de hoy. Slip versus sleep. They don't sound the same. Also, we talk about a slip, a Freudian slip, right? My favorite number is 6. 6. Oops, that was a Freudian slip. You say lapsus? una falta, right? So really, really rich word there. Wow, we just looked at like 5 or 6 meanings for that word slip. All right, let's take a look at our pop quiz answers. Great job to all of you. Number 1, let's change gears. Yeah, you can say let's change the subject. That's fine. We don't usually say change the topic. I don't know, it sounds more natural to say let's change the subject, right? Or let's change gears. Okay, it makes sense if you think about it. All right, but let's play with that word a little bit more. What does it mean? And I'll give it to you in context. Because usually we hear or see words in context, and it helps. Context is key. We're gearing up for the big game. What does that mean? If I say, we are gearing up, we already said gear is tu vestimenta, como vas vestido. Nice gear. He always has nice gear on. Your gear is tight. Totally native, no? All right, to gear up. Did you say prepararse? Absolutely. We're gearing up for the big game. And then we've got the expression, if something grinds your gears, you say, I think, te saca de quicio. Te saca de quicio, is that right? It grinds my gears. Me irrita, me cabrea. It annoys me. It really grinds my gears when people talk loudly on their cell phone. Like, hello, do you really think I want to hear your conversation? As I said, the other day it happened at the gym. Some woman was screaming on her phone. Oh, it happened actually a similar situation, and it really grinded my gears. Again, when you grind it, it haces ese sonido que you're like, uh-oh, right? To grind, rechinar, is that the word? To grind también es moler. Otra vez, estamos pensando en la idea detrás. Moler, pulverizar, right? Also, we say the grind, la rutina. Back to the grind. El trabajo monótono. Rechinar, moler, right? Grind. So what happened was there's a guy and he was watching something on his phone without his headphones. And I'm thinking, what if we all did that? Now, I don't stoop. Yo no me rebajo. But for 1 second, for 1 second, I thought about it. I thought about, okay, why don't I put on a really annoying podcast where they're screaming, or put on some heavy metal music, and we'll see how you like that, right? But then I thought, I'm not going to stoop. No me voy a rebajar. But the guy, what on God's earth makes you think that we want to hear what you're listening to? Have you ever heard? Or these people that get on the subway, right? And they're putting on their music and they've got it at full blast, a todo trapo. And you know what I've noticed about those people? Not only are they rude and impolite, but is it me or do they have the worst taste in music? Because at least if you put on a Beatles song, Metallica, I'd be like, okay, all right, I'll buy it. But usually it's like reggaeton or some bullshit. Oh my God. Well, I guess maybe bad taste goes with bad manners. They go hand in hand. I don't know. Hey, correct me if I'm wrong, but I've noticed that phenomenon. All right, so that word gear, just make sure you don't pronounce it gear. I've heard a lot of people say metal gear, right? Top gear. It's top gear, metal gear. All right, let's take a look at the next one. De moda. De moda. Fashionable, we said, but I guess that's the least fashionable way to say it. What are other ways we can say it? Well, as I said with Damian, that's in. Man, right now, baseball caps are in. Están de moda. Viene de in style, como la revista In Style. Baseball caps are in right now. Last year, they were out, que viene de out of style. Pero se usa tanto que se puede decir con in and out a secas. All right? Another way we can say it's stylish. Man, he's really stylish. It's another way of saying fashionable. What about hip? Have you heard that one? Hipster. De ahí viene, que están a la moda. Man, you're pretty hip. That restaurant is hip. Cool siempre nos vale. That's one of our favorite adjectives. Man, that's cool. He's cool. He's hip. Trendy, but see, that one has kind of like a negative connotation, because if something is trendy, it's going to go out of style pretty quickly, right? It's a trend, una tendencia. But they say, oh, it's a trendy new restaurant. Oh, well, that okay, it's good, but it has this this connotation of being fleeting, fugaz, right? Another way, chic. We don't say chic. Se escribe C-H-I-C. But if I'm not mistaken, it's a French word. Chic. This is a very chic restaurant. This restaurant is all the rage. I know we've looked at that one before. It's hot. Hot. Yeah, caliente. No, candente. Think of it like that. Okay. Avant-garde. Yeah. Avant-garde. Swanky. You know Hilary Swank? Swanky is another way. So you've got like 10 different ways to say fashionable. Y son más fácil, mucho más fácil decir hip or in que fashionable, 4 sílabas. So, another one. This is very British. Smart. Yes, smart is another way of saying stylish. You'll know from the context if somebody's saying smart listo or smart elegante. All right, so these are just some synonyms. And the idiomatic expression, again, wonderful job, everybody. The idiomatic expression is back to the drawing board. Now, I don't know if this is the etymology or not. Okay, la etimología de dónde proviene. I don't know if it's the real etymology, but I think of an architect, right? And an architect uses a drawing board to draw up the blueprints. ¿Te suena la palabra blueprint? ¿De qué color suelen ser los planes? ¿No? Cuando están diseñando un edificio, a blueprint. Blueprint, a ver cómo lo trae. Plano, cianotipo. Oh, toma. But also it has a figurative meaning too. El plan de acción, el anteproyecto. The blueprint for Vaughan's success, el éxito de Vaughan, is making sure students, A, enjoy the learning process, and B, learn English in a natural way, the way they learned their own language when they were growing up. The blueprint, right? Blueprint. And it's a verb too, like everything in English. So it's hacer el plano de algo. Okay? So here, let me give you the examples. Penelope designed the blueprints for this house. And where do you design a blueprint? On a drawing board, right? And again, if we're talking about blueprint como anteproyecto, plan de acción, aquí lo tenemos. Roger will create the blueprint for the department's sales plan. So the idiomatic expression was back to the drawing board. Excellent job. And some of you put back to square one. That's another way to say it. Excellent job, Show with No Namers. Let's move on to today's homophones on the Show with No Name.
Homophones on the Show with No Name. It's homophones time, cause homophones rhyme. They sound the same on the Show with No Name. The Show with No Name. Homophones on the Show with No Name. Cause homophones time, cause homophones rhyme. They sound the same on the Show with No Name. The Show with No Name. The Show with No Name. The Show with No Name.
That's right, my amigos. It's homophones only on the Show with No Name. Let's see what we've got for today's homophones. And today's words, I know we've looked at them, so here's just a question of, do you remember? Do you remember these words? All right. Well, I've heard this first one mispronounced many times. Okay? So let's make sure we know it, not just right now when I ask you, but next time you need to use it as well. And that is rezar, orar. Okay? Diferente que oración. Okay, that's Bon Jovi. Oh, we're living on a take my hand and we'll make it, I swear. Oh, living on a. Well, that's not the word. It's the noun. Okay. Well, it's the verb. Sorry. The noun is oración. Okay. So there's a time, a veces cogemos el sustantivo y es verbo. En este añadimos ER para que sea el sustantivo. Okay, so that is the first one. Okay, rezar, orar, to talk to God. All right, and the second one is presa, right? An animal that is hunted, but also it's the verb. ¿Ves? En este caso sí, que es cazar. Okay. También es asediar, abusar, to victimize someone. So it's also used in the figurative sense as well as like a lion and a gazelle, you know, which is the literal sense. All right, so those are your two words for today's homophones. And I see we've got a lot of people participating already, but we'll take a look at your answers after this quick commercial break. I can't believe it, folks. We are halfway through the show, and we still have tons of fun stuff up ahead. So if I were you guys, I wouldn't even think of going anywhere. I want you to say it with me in 3, 2, 1. Stick around. Welcome back. Welcome back, amigos. This is the second half of today's Show with No Name on Vaughn Radio. Folks, the moment has arrived. Vaughn Radio Trivia Night. Now it's officially here. It's going to be tons of fun. November 4th at 8 p.m. But I'm starting at 8 p.m. sharp. So that means get there around 7:30. Grab a beer. Sit down. Relax. Mingle with everybody. Whatever you want to do. But don't get there at the last minute. Because when Geeties say 8 o'clock, that means we're kicking off at 8 o'clock. And Kyle's always like, dude, we got to give him 5 minutes. I'm like, I don't want to. I didn't say 8:05. I said 8. Also, my daughter's going to be there, and kids can't be out too late on a weeknight. Neither can adults. Am I really defending my daughter's sleep timetable or my own? Well, at my house, lights out at 9:30. At 9:30, the only one making noise in this house is the cat. Meow, meow, meow. He's a big baby, though. He's starving for attention. We love him. Kike, our black cat. He's the best, really. You guys know, too, I've never been a cat person. I've always had dogs my whole life because my mother is allergic to cats. But I got to say, now I'm a cat person and a dog person. All right, amigos, we have got a lot of stuff to do in the second half of today's show. So before we take a look at your homophone answers, we're going to listen to our Say What soundbite for the third time.
Well, I guess he got a 6-day suspension, just like when Whoopi Goldberg came out with her disgusting comments on the Holocaust. She got a 2-week suspension. It just shows how they think. I got my whole life ruined.
Listen carefully. Can you hear that? No. Listen closer. I'm not talking about the birds chirping. I'm talking about everybody speaking English and feeling comfortable. Listen. This is what it's like at Vaughntown, a peaceful place where you can really learn English and lose your inhibitions. There's a reason it's one of our star programs. Vaughntown, lose your fear of speaking English. If you want more information about this immersive experience, go to grupovaughn.com or give us a call, 911-385831. Lose your fear of speaking English and express yourself with clarity at Vaughntown.
That's right, folks. Vaughntown. It is groundbreaking, life-changing, call it what you will, avant-garde. Hey, there's one on the cutting edge. A la vanguardia, don't you say something similar? Avant-garde, on the cutting edge. That's another way of saying it is groundbreaking, revolucionario. All right, let's go on over to our homophones. I see we've got a lot of people participating, and let's go through the comments here. Yeah, okay. Right now, it looks unanimous as I look through the comments, and it looks like everybody is saying that the words sound the same. All right, well, let's say the words, and that will clear up all doubts. All right, voy a decir, rezo que no sea su presa. I pray I don't become his prey. Listen again. I pray, rezo, that I won't become his prey. Yes, great job, Show with No Namers. So the first one, pray, rezar. Now, the trick here is that in a logical world, well, you would say prayer, but it's not prayer. De hecho, es raro decirlo. Prayer. It's prayer. Nos comemos la Y. Piénsalo así. Es como P-R-A-E-R. Again, if you need any help over there, Tommy used to work on the docks. Tommy antes trabajaba en los muelles. The union's been on strike. Los sindicatos están de huelga. He's down on his luck. It's tough. He's down on his luck. Mala suerte. It's tough. Gina works the diner all day. Hey, Gina trabaja de camarera en el restaurante, at the diner. Working for the man. Trabajando para los poderes, las instituciones, los que tienen la pasta. She brings home her pay for love. Oh, for love. They said you gotta hold on to what we got. It doesn't make a difference if we make it or not. We got each other, and that's a lot for love. We'll give it a shot. Vamos a intentar. Oh, we're halfway there. Oh, living on a prayer. There and prayer rhyme. I know. Thank you. Did you ever know what they said in that song? It is a beautiful song. Gina dreams of running away. And the second verse gets a little bit crazier there. But living on a prayer rhymes with there. But the word pray, that word sounds exactly like pray, presa. And we use it with a preposition. To prey on. We always joke about it here. Speaking of my cat, he preys on us. Yes, nos toma como presa. No nos caza. And it's funny because what does he do? In the middle of the night, I'll wake up and go get a glass of water. And this guy jumps out at me and, well, he preys on me. And my daughter always says, Kike, we are not your prey. No somos tus presas. So stop preying on us. We pray that you will never prey on us again. Excellent job in today's Homophones on the Show with No Name. And now it's time for today's news report.
This is the news report on the Show with No Name, bringing you the latest breaking news. I'm Alberto Alonso, reporting live.
All right, welcome to our news report over here. And I've got a question for you guys. When you put something into Google Maps, do you blindly trust Google Maps? I'm just asking. I mean, I do usually. But it's like everything. Be careful. Pay attention. Well, I call this story, She Fell for It. Now, to fall down is caerse. But to fall for something is to believe it. Caer en la trampa. Right? So you say the same thing. Lo único, cambia la estructura. Right? Now, the British say, I fell over. I fell over. Americans say, I fell down. Okay? Pero luego estamos de acuerdo con I fell for it. She fell for it, mate. Cayó en la trampa. Now, just be careful. People mix this word fall. They mix it up with feel. Let's practice. Every day, I fall for it. Caigo todos los días. Yesterday, I fell for it. Lately, I've fallen for it. And feel? Every day, I feel great. Vamos a usar una expresión. Every day I feel like $1,000,000. Thanks to you guys. Me siento genial, como si me como el mundo. I feel like $1,000,000. Yesterday, I felt like $1,000,000. And lately, I've, muy importante el v, porque es lo único que distingue entre la segunda y la tercera columna. Lately, I've felt like $1,000,000. All right, well, a tourist in Venice, very touristy city, fell into a canal when she was following Google Maps. Now, if you've ever been to Venice, it's nice to look at the canals, but remember the city sewage, that's poo-poo and pee-pee, goes into those canals, correct? I mean, have you been there in the summer? You can smell it. So, as much as you might want to take a gondola through the canals, you don't want to be swimming in them, right? And never mind just the sewage, cruise ships spitting oil into, I mean, it's not the cleanest water I've ever seen in my life. The Venice Lagoon, as they call it. Well, a Polish woman, Polaka, was vacationing in Italy, and, her name, Wiktoria Guzenda, shared a video of her holding her phone as she walked down a few steps. Now, as you know, if you've been there, some of the canals have steps that lead down into them. And she decided to follow Google Maps down the steps, and she toppled into the water. To topple. Vamos a ver cómo es caerse, but maybe tambalearse would be a good. She toppled, derrumbarse, venirse abajo, caerse. Okay? También es derrocar o derribar un gobierno. They toppled the government, the corrupt government. But here it's to fall, right? To topple, T-O-P-P-L-E. So she toppled into the water. Now, this means she didn't look up from the phone. Because, okay, you can use your phone as a guide, but use your eyes too, right? So now a tourist, a Venetian, somebody from Venice is a Venetian, says, when Google Maps says go straight, you're in Venice. He said, be careful, because there are no straight lines in Venice. Have you seen maps of Venice? There's no such thing as a straight line. And this woman, well, she suffered scrapes on her legs and bruises. A scrape is, right? And of course, she posted it on social media. And that's when the vultures attacked, and rightfully so. Merecidamente. Come on, lady, open your eyes. And so one of the Instagram comments said, so, entonces, what did she think would happen walking down stone steps into the water? Like, were you expecting a different outcome? Another commenter said, maybe stop blindly following your GPS and actually look around. Use your brain. Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying don't use Google Maps, but, if you're paying attention, you'll see you're about to fall into the water. And again, disgusting water. And another user said that she obviously wanted to stop at the last step, but she ended up falling in. So some people defended her and said, well, that wasn't what she was trying to do. She slipped and she fell in. You can be the judge. You can check out her video. But other people, because there were, everybody's free to comment on social media. Other people said, like my cat, she was starving for attention. And some people will do anything for likes and views. Very, very sad world we live in when you'll put yourself in jeopardy, in peligro, so you get likes, which mean nothing, really. A like, guys, you can have 1,000 likes, still doesn't mean anything, right? If nobody likes you in real life, think about it that way. And so some people chalked it up, lo tacharon como a mistake. A ver cómo se dice, to chalk it up. Chalk up. To chalk es tiza. Lo anotaron, lo atribuyen, right? They attribute it to. They chalked it up to a mistake. Other people chalked it up to being a dumbass. a dumbass, tontorron, bueno, una tontorrona in her case, right? And other people say that she was just doing it for likes, doing it for attention. And one Venice tour site leader, somebody who leads tours around Venice, said, as I said earlier, Google Maps doesn't work well in Venice. The city has a unique address system. Es verdad, I remember looking for a restaurant in Venice that we were recommended, and it took a lot of U-turns. Dar mucha vuelta, ni dar marcha atrás. A U-turn, cuando haces una U. 180, no, can't be here. This is a dead end. So, maybe in New York City, where everything makes sense, you can follow Google Maps, but Venice is a horse of a different color. Es harina de otro costal. The guy said, not only does it have a unique address system, but there are a lot of physical challenges, such as dead ends, callejón sin salida, which a dead end also means, like lo usamos como adjetivo. He works at a dead end job, sin salida. Piénsalo. Decís lo mismo, ¿no? Narrow passages, o sea, unos caminos súper estrechos, bridges, right? And changing water levels. Remember that. The water level goes up and down depending on the season. So it can throw off, confundir, it can throw off GPS systems. In fact, just last month, 2 tourists were caught swimming in the Grand Canal. Again, people are desperate. I mean, have you looked at that? The water's filthy. Well, they were fined. Les multaron. A fine es una multa, pero también es el verbo to be fined. They were fined 450 euros each and banned from the city because the gondoliers, the guys who row the gondolas, well, they saw them and they reported them. And they said, we got 2 idiots. Now, I imagine Venetians are sick of stupid tourists. I mean, I know it happens too in the Canary Islands, in the Balearic Islands, even in the south of Spain. But these guys have tourism 365 days a year. Canarias, Ibiza, you got to deal with tourists about 3 months of the year. Also, imagine Venice without tourists. It doesn't have any thriving industries, right? And Spain, as much as I hate that kind of tourism, where would we be without tourism? So one thing is people, this backlash, ¿cómo se dice backlash? And I get it, people are like, our rent is going up, the streets are dirty, oposición, respuesta, reacción violenta. But also, we got to put everything in perspective. The tourists will do what you let them do, So if you let them rent 7 people in a little apartment, well, they're going to do it. If you don't, give them a fine for pissing in the street, they're going to piss in the street. And they're going to go home and tell your friends, in Spain, you can piss in the street. You can jump off the balcony. No one cares. So again, that's the authorities too. I know it's a hot topic right now. Un tema muy candente. Is that how you say it? But also, I get both sides of it. Just imagine Ibiza without tourism. But what kind of tourism do we want? Good tourism. But we have to set the example and say, okay, we draw the line. We put our foot down. No, to put your foot down es ser estricto. Y decir, no vamos a tolerar esto. Right? So Venice has its share of problem with crappy tourists, los que no nos gustan, right? And since it's not even a Venetian rule, right, that you can't swim in the canals, this is a UNESCO World Heritage Site, o sea, protegido del patrimonio. So it's illegal to swim, paddleboard, or canoe in the city. You can do gondolas, but again, those guys have a license, everything. They have to have their insurance and all that jazz. But according to the City of Venice's official website, bathing, diving, and swimming in the canals is prohibited to, and I quote, preserve urban cleanliness, limpieza, cleanliness, although those canals are not clean, and the landscape. And also for reasons, and I get this part, this is why you should never go into those canals, for reasons of safety and public hygiene. And hygiene, papel higiénico, pues esa palabra, higiene. Hygienic, I never say that word right. We say public hygiene, la salud pública. So yeah. So what do you guys think? Do you think she did it as a publicity stunt to get likes? Do you think she did it because she slipped and it was an accident? Or do you think she's just a moron? Un idiota. All right, folks, it's time for today's Spelling Bee.
Spelling bee. Spelling bee. Spelling bee. Spelling bee. Spelling bee.
All right, guys, it is time for our Spelling Bee. We've just left Venice, and now we are smack dab in the center of a city with a lot of hustle and bustle. Ajetreo, movimiento. Oh, I'm not saying Venice doesn't have that, but you won't hear horns in Venice. Not car horns, klaxon, right? No. But, well, this place where we're going in our Spelling Bee, you'll hear horns, sirens, people screaming. You know, you'll hear it all. You'll smell it all, too. It's kind of a gritty, pretty city. All right, here's round one. I'm going to fly through these words, and we'll see if you get them. The second round, I will slow down. Number one is O-N-E space W-O-R-L-D space T-R-A-D-E space C-E-N-T-E-R. The second one is F-R-E-E-D-O-M space T-O-W-E-R. The third one, L-O-W-E-R space M-A-N-H-A-T-T-A-N. The fourth one, D-A-V-I-D space C-H-I-L-D-S. Number five, 285 space F-U-L-T-O-N space S-T-R-E-E-T. And the last one is 1,776 feet. All right. Wow. If you get that, you are definitely a superstar, because I couldn't get it. I'm telling you right now. No way on earth I would get that. So, and again, not because of a language thing, because I'm just not that fast. I used to be, maybe when I was younger, I was a bit faster, but now I'm kind of like, what? Yeah. You know, I would probably start writing them down when you were already on number two. All right. Going once. I don't want to take too much time because we do have to go to a commercial break. All right, let's get into round two. And I will slow down here in round two. The first one is O-N-E space W-O-R-L-D space T-R-A-D-E space C-E-N-T-E-R. The second one is F-R-E-E-D-O-M space T-O-W-E-R. The third one, L-O-W-E-R space M-A-N-H-A-T-T-A-N. The fourth one, D-A-V-I-D space C-H-I-L DS. The fifth one, 285 or 285 or 285. La gente lo podría decir de las tres formas perfectamente. Space, FULTON, space, STREET. And the last one is 1,776 feet. Folks, we are taking our final commercial break. We'll be right back with the rest of today's show. So, stick around. Welcome back, folks. This is the fourth and final part of today's show. Thank you so much for all your participation. Don't forget to stay tuned. Up next, you've got Speaking with Confidence with Ale. We've also got our trivia night right around the corner. There's still time. Be there or be square, as my daughter said. Square, un muermo, un aburrido. We get it. If you don't live in Madrid, it's harder, especially on a Tuesday night. But we'll make it worth your while. Also, don't forget, we've got centers located in Madrid, Barcelona, Bilbao, Vigo, Valladolid, Valencia, Santander, and Zaragoza. Feel free to stop by and get a free level test to find out if all the effort, all the energy you've been putting into your English every day is worth it. I can tell you right now, based on your question of the weeks, yes, it is. You guys sound great. And speaking of question of the week, if you'd like to participate in our weekly speaking section, you can send me a 1-minute voice note telling me your least favorite household chore and why. You can send it to aalonso@grupovon.com. All right, let's take a look at today's triple trouble. Yep, I said triple.
Double trouble, baby.
Not double, triple, I said.
Yeah, you know what time it is.
Yeah, triple trouble time.
Give it up.
Triple trouble. I said triple trouble. Triple trouble. I said triple trouble. All right, folks, good luck. This is a triple trouble, which means you have to use the same word 3 times. Good luck. All right. Te lo digo francamente, sin rodeos. Okay, that would be a good way to look at it in English. Sin rodeos. Voy directo. Okay, voy a ser directo. That would be a good way to think of it, okay? Te lo digo francamente, de manera directa. Él es heterosexual y no consume drogas, ni alcohol, ni tabaco. O sea, the person leads an abstinent life, right? All right. Te lo digo francamente, sin rodeos, directamente. Él es heterosexual y no consume drogas, ¿no? Alcohol, estas cosas. The person leads, as I said, another way to say it, an abstinent life. Okay? They don't partake in drugs and alcohol and stimulants and things like maybe coffee. But yeah, they don't take drugs. You know, when I was a kid, I remember, oh, he's drinking. Oh, and these guys are like, it's not cool. It's not cool to, abuse your own body. So, te lo digo directamente, francamente. Él es heterosexual y no consume drogas, ni alcohol, ni tabaco, ni estos estimulantes que sabemos que son malísimos. All right, there you go. That is your triple trouble. We'll see if anybody can figure it out. Also, let me give you the Say What soundbite here for the fourth and final time.
Well, I guess he got a 6-day suspension, just like when Whoopi Goldberg came out with her disgusting comments on the Holocaust. She got a 2-week suspension. It just shows how they think. I got my whole life ruined.
First things first, how you machines doing? You good?
Yeah, we're good.
Good. Let's take a picture. Quick question. ¿Cómo se dice emocionar en inglés?
To emotionate.
No. Think of Michael Jackson. Una pista de audio. It's close to midnight. Something evil's lurking in the dark.
It's Thriller.
That's right. So emocionar is to
Thrill.
Eso es. And this book is the shit will thrill you. It's thrilling.
Sí, señor. This book is the shit. El inglés que no sabías que sabías. 1000 nuevas palabras para tu colección. De la mano de Alberto Alonso
y Damián Moya.
Así da gusto aprender.
Now we're talking. That's right, folks. You've got tons of amazing materials at Vaughn Tienda. As you know, 5 books have my name on them. Well, actually, other ones do too. Some of the Disney collection, it doesn't have my name. Oh, yeah, it's got my name in it. It's also got my picture on the back of them as well for participating in the audio recordings. But my 5 books are English Everywhere. This book is The Milk. This book is The Milk 2. This book is The Shit. And then also English on the Go. Aprende Inglés viajando por el mundo. All right, let's see what we've got over here in today's Triple Trouble. Do we have anybody figuring it out? Yes! What? I'm going to start doing quadruple troubles here. It's the only way that I can stump you guys. And the word stump, well, that's a part of a tree. A stump es un tocón. También it's an amputated limb. No sé si tienes el brazo amputado. But it's also to dejar mudo, dejar sin respuesta. But it seems impossible to stump you folks. All right, let's take a look at this triple trouble here. All right, so te lo digo francamente, sin rodeos. I'll give it to you straight. Okay, piénsalo, sin rodeos, voy recto, voy directo. I'll give it to you straight. He's straight. Now, la primera se puede decir también straight or straight up, right? It reminds me of the Paula Abdul song. Straight up, now tell me, do you really want to love me forever? Oh, are we just having fun? Straight up, now tell me. You can tell I was a Paula Abdul fan, huh? And Bon Jovi today. So I'll give it to you straight or straight up. He's straight. So somebody who is heterosexual, we say is straight. And straight edge. And straight edge means you don't consume drugs or alcohol or any kind of stimulants like that. So excellent job. Guys, what did you have for breakfast today? Oh my God. You are rising to every challenge. All right, well, let's check out our spelling bee words. I see many of you have gotten the spelling bee as well. We are going to New York, New York. I didn't say New York, New York. New York, New York. And today we're going to New York. Why? Because in the year 2014, One World Trade Center officially opened, replacing the Twin Towers. So number one was
One World Trade Center. That's the name of the building. Very creative, I know. Well, the second one, Freedom Tower, was also the name of the building, but that one didn't stick. O sea, la gente no lo usó. Nobody said, we're going to the Freedom Tower, to the observation deck. Nope. So a lot of times it's a lesson there. You can call it whatever you want, but the people are going to call it what they want. I remember that in Chicago. It used to be called the Sears Tower, and then they changed it to the Willis Tower. You know what the people in Chicago call it? The Sears Tower. They're like, you can change the name. We're going to continue to call it the Sears Tower. Same thing here. So they call it the address. Well, it's actually not the address. The address is a different one. That's number 5. But since it's a complex of buildings, right? There are many buildings. Well, One World Trade Center. And that was the name of one of the towers. It was World Trade Center 1 and World Trade Center 2. So this one actually there was a building called One World Trade Center, and on September 11, 2001, it no longer was. I don't have to tell you that story. So One World Trade Center was number 1. Number 2, Freedom Tower. Freedom Tower, again, that's what they call it. The officials called it, but not the people in New York. It's located in Lower Manhattan. Okay, that area is called Lower Manhattan or downtown, right? It's very easy. We can break it down in 3 parts: downtown, midtown, uptown. Midtown, Times Square, that area. Uptown, usually above Central Park. And downtown, that's the cool area, the hip area, right? We looked at ways to say fashionable. That's where the New Yorkers hang out, right? We leave Times Square for you guys. All yours, todo tuyo. Seriously, we don't go to Times Square. So Lower Manhattan, David Childs was number 4. He was the architect. I guess he had to go back to the drawing board. Well, hey, to use the expression we saw before, back to the drawing board. Number 5 is the address, 285 or 285 Fulton Street. Okay. And number 6 is 1,776 feet, which is a symbolic number because the Declaration of Independence was signed in 1776. But in meters, just to give you an idea, it's 541 meters, a little bit more than 541 meters. And I got to say something, you know, as somebody who witnessed, ser testigo, the 2 towers fall, actually 3 towers fell that day. World Trade Center 7, which is weird because no plane hit it. That's still, nobody talks about that one. Let's just sweep it under the rug, como se dice. To sweep it under the rug is, vamos a ignorar eso. Hacer que no existe, no? Barrer. We looked at the word sweep when we were talking about household chores. Well, the expression to sweep something under the rug is, oh, don't look there. No, don't look there. Yeah, buildings don't just drop because they got fire splashed onto them. Just saying. Nobody talks about Tower 7, do they? Okay, well, World Trade Center 7 fell that day as well. And that one has been, para usar la expresión otra vez, swept, porque es un verbo irregular. Sweep, swept, swept. That one was swept under the rug. So excellent job in today's Spelling Bee. We are going to the movies. Name that movie. That's right, amigos. Name that movie here on the Show with No Name. Let me see if you know today's movie based on the synopsis, and then we'll take a look at the movie. We'll take a look at one of the scenes from the movie. During World War II, a rebellious U.S. Army major is assigned a dozen convicted murderers to train and lead them into a mass assassination mission of German officers. Okay, oficiales, and a major. Let's see, major es mayor, pero también es un cargo militar. Major. Comandante, mayor. Oh, you say mayor too. Look at that. All right, so during World War II, a rebellious U.S. Army major is assigned a dozen, ojo con la pronunciación, no es dozen, sino dozen. A dozen, dilo conmigo, a dozen convicted murderers to train, formar, and lead them, llevarles, into a mass assassination, o sea, asesino en masa, of German officers, oficiales alemanes. All right. Yeah. Wow. All right. Give it up, folks. The movie is Dirty Dozen. The Dirty Dozen. It's a movie that came out in 1967, and it stars Lee Marvin, Ernest Borgnine, and most importantly, and I think the star of the movie, Charles Bronson, the one and only Charles Bronson. And man, I remember loving this movie. It was on a lot when I lived in New York, and I used to watch it all the time. I'm a big Charles Bronson fan because he was that tough guy who doesn't take any shit from anyone. That's Charles Bronson, all right. All right, so yes, the movie is called The Dirty Dozen. Do you know what a baker's dozen is? Yo sé que lo hemos mirado aquí en el programa. A baker's dozen son 13. O sea, te ponen uno extra, ¿no? He pedido 12 manzanas, pues uno para la suerte. A baker's dozen means 13. All right, so Major John Reisman says, and basically Kinder is one of the soldiers, has just finished a psychiatric evaluation of his troops. Okay, so he's about to give him his assessment, su valoración de sus tropas. And he says, Major John Reisman says, so what does that give you? ¿Qué te da eso? ¿Qué resultados? And Captain Stuart Kinder says, doesn't give me anything. No me da nada realmente. But along with these other results, y cuidado, no es results, it gives you just about the most twisted, retorcido, antisocial, antisocial, o sea, bunch es grupo, of psychopathic deformities I have ever run into, con quien jamás he topado. And the worst, the most dangerous of the bunch, okay, and the bunch, again, is el grupo, is maggot. And what is a maggot? A maggot is these worms that eat things when they die. But that's this guy's nickname, maggot. Maggot, larva, cresa, gusano, parasito. Okay, parásito, excuse me. We say parasite. You've got one religious maniac, one malignant dwarf, persona pequeña, two near idiots, básicamente idiotas, and the rest, I don't even want to think about, ni quiero pensar en ellos. And then Major John Reisman says, well, I can't think of a better way to fight a war. Pues no se me ocurre una mejor forma de luchar en una guerra con estos locos, estos mal adaptados. So there you go, folks. It is the movie Dirty Dozen. And if you learn nothing from that, learn the pronunciation of dozen. It's not dozen, it's dozen. Reminds me of the word oven. No oven, sino oven. Eso es. All right, folks, time for your joking.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, what did the guy say when he walked into the bar? Ouch. Ouch. You get it? Ouch. He walked into the bar. You're joking.
That's right. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. All right. What is a military officer's least favorite date? What is a military officer's least favorite date? March 4th. No. Well, March 4th es el 4 de mayo, March 4th. Pero si quitamos la U, fourth, F-O-R-T-H, eso es hacia adelante. En March también es desfilar. So, desfila hacia adelante, March 4th. All right. Which is the only place in a military barracks that requires the maximum cleaning? Okay. And a barracks is barraca, barracón. Oh, I didn't know that. Look at that. A veces es fácil, eh? Which is the only place in a military barracks that requires the maximum cleaning? Easy. The mess hall. No? Well, a hall es una sala, right? And mess es un desorden, right? A mess hall. But also, the mess hall in the military is la cantina, el comedor. You made a mess in the mess hall. Hey, there's a great double trouble. Folks, we need to move on to famous birthday trivia.
Famous birthdays for you. Famous birthdays for me. Famous birthdays for everyone on the show with no name. Yes. Birthdays for him. Famous birthdays for her. Famous birthdays for everyone on the show with no name.
All right, number one, he is the lead singer of one of my favorite bands. If you've never heard the band Rise Against, it's like a rock/punk rock band, and they're awesome. The lyrics are awesome. The songs are awesome. The guitar playing, they're just great. And the group it's not Rage Against the Machine. It's Rise Against. Okay? Eso es alzarse contra. Rise Against. And this guy, as well as being the singer, songwriter, and guitarist, he's also a vegetarian and he's straight edge. Hey, you know that. Straight edge. He doesn't do drugs or drink alcohol. He's straight edge. Hey, we saw that in today's Triple Trouble. So now you know what it means. And this punk rock band, even though I think they're more than punk rock, but they are from Chicago and they formed in the year 1999. You know who's a huge fan of this group too? Rob Gramps. I know he loves this group as well. Number two, this tough guy was an American actor. He was known for playing in action movies. And, he was in The Magnificent Seven, The Great Escape, The Dirty Dozen. You mean today's name, that movie? Yeah, I just mentioned his name. He is the quintessential tough guy. Doodle. And last but not least, this American comedian, actress, and producer had a sitcom which was really, really popular when I was a kid. Her husband was played by John Goodman. In fact, oh man, I used to love this show because it was like the first dysfunctional family. Before that, it was always, oh, dad loves me and mom, and everything's great. And this showed like real families. And the show was named after her. So also, she had a tweet in 2018, and she was canceled. Now, she's still performing, but her show was canceled. And she even said that her life was ruined because of a tweet. I don't remember what it was, if it was anti-Semitic or racist, but I think everybody's a little bit over cancel culture anyway. I think. I don't know. I feel like instead of looking for how we can cancel people and look at what we don't like, we should look at the stuff we like about people. And if not, just move on. I'm a fan of hers. I've been a fan of hers ever since I watched her show. And, even now, I like her even more because I like people. I like the rebels, the ones who people try to cancel. And ladies and gentlemen, today's famous birthdays. Number 1, Tim McIlrath. That's right, the lead singer of Rise Against. If you haven't heard them, give them a listen. Number 2, Charles Bronson. And number 3, Roseanne Barr, who is always raising the bar. That's going to bring us to our Say What soundbite. It's Roseanne Barr talking about the double standard. She says, well, I guess he got a 6-day suspension. She was talking about Jimmy Fallon, no, Jimmy Kimmel, one of the Jimmys that said something, and then they canceled his show for 6 days, but now he's back on the air. That Jimmy. I'm sorry, I don't watch TV, so I don't know which one. I think it's Kimmel. So, well, I guess he just got a 6-day suspension, just like when Whoopi Goldberg was, well, she came out with her disgusting comments on the Holocaust. Holocausto. She got what, a 2-week suspension? It just shows how they think. I got my whole life ruined. And she thinks it's unfair, this double standard. Here she is, birthday girl, Roseanne Barr.
Well, I guess he got a 6-day suspension, just like when Whoopi Goldberg was came out with her disgusting comments on the Holocaust. She got a, 2-week suspension? It just shows how they think. I got my whole life ruined.
All right, folks, awesome job. And we're going to say goodbye with a song by Rise Against. It's called Prayer, not Prayer, ya lo hemos visto, Prayer of the Refugee. I hope you guys enjoy it. Thank you so much, and have a wonderful rest of the day. Doo-doo, doo-doo, doo-doo. I know Rob Grams is dancing right now. Warm yourself by the fire, son, and the morning will come soon. Thank you, everybody.